Prime Minister, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really appreciate it. Let's start with there. You say the name Mossad, Shin Bet, Israeli intelligence, and in some circles, it sparks fear, in other circles, admiration. As we said, Israel has not publicly taken responsibility for these communication attacks inside of Lebanon, seemingly on Hezbollah militants. But if Mossad was behind this, as has been speculated, do you think this is going to likely be part of a bigger plan? Is Mossad a one-and-done group, or is this something that would likely have more plans in the works?
I don't know who did this, but I wish and hope they do much more because it's a blessing to kill terrorists. And the more terrorists dead, the better the world is for that. My understanding from the media is that this was an incredibly targeted attack on Hezbollah terrorists. And I just want to set the stage and the frame. For the past year, 11 months actually, Hezbollah, totally unprovoked, has nothing to do with Gaza. It's a whole different area. Has shot over 8,000 rockets on Israeli citizens, has murdered several dozen of them, including 12 children who were playing soccer. 12 Israeli children who were playing soccer. So they're doing everything they can to indiscriminately kill civilians. Whoever is behind this clearly did the opposite, did everything possible to, in a very targeted way, to kill only terrorists. And in that sense, whoever did this, I just hope they do much more.
If you were Prime Minister right now, knowing what Nasrallah has now said, vowing to retaliate, claiming that all red lines have been crossed here, would you have given the order to Mossad to say, okay, carry something out like this inside of Lebanon? Or do you think this really does put Israel in a position where there could be a full-fledged war on the northern border?
Well, I have news. There already is a full-fledged war. Imagine the state of Florida being evacuated by all its people and having 8,000 rockets shot at Florida and Miami and everywhere there, killing children in Florida. That's exactly our situation, and we did nothing to Hezbollah. We've been restrained and restraining ourselves, and the attack tonight of the IDF on 1,000 rocket barrels, I think, should be the beginning. But we need to hit Hezbollah, push him away from our border, and defend our people. If anything, this is way, way too late, attacking these rocket barrels tonight.
And Keir Simmons was there in Lebanon reporting on this alleged assassination attempt that Israel says they have foiled. I understand your name was included in that list. What could you tell us about it?
Well, as was publicized, Iran was trying to murder me. And they found some operative in Israel, paid him money to kill me. And that's because they know that I'm after them. And, you know, I introduced about a decade ago the idea that we have to go after the head of the octopus, which is Tehran, and not only fight the arms of the octopus, which are Hezbollah, Hamas, and all the Houthis and these proxies. They don't like that, and I guess that's why they're trying to do that.
You know, when we're talking about the history of Mossad and operations, they have been speculated, sometimes publicly, like Eichmann saying, yes, we were involved in that. But these elaborate covert operations they've been able to carry out. I remember being in Israel in the days after October 7th on the border with Gaza, and looking at the numbers of the hostages and thinking, well, if anybody could go in and find them and pull them out really fast, it'd be Mossad. I saw what they did with Eichmann, and I feel like a lot of people were saying that. Go in, get them, it'll be over quickly. When you look at what has happened with the hostages, how many are still there now, the protests that the families have had in recent days in particular, do you think that enough is being done at this point in time? Are the right moves being made to get the remaining hostages back home?
We have to bring the hostages home. They were kidnapped from their beds in the morning of a Sabbath, and they're being held in horrible conditions and executed by Hamas point blank. This is just a horrible thing. And we need to be bringing them home with applying tremendous military pressure on Hamas while being able to bring him home. I also want to tell you something about Hezbollah, though. I think American viewers may have forgotten, but Hezbollah murdered 241 American Marines. This is the same Hezbollah that's been hit over the past several days. And again, talking about this attack tonight of our Air Force on them, Israel is doing the work of the world to fight the most horrible and savage terrorists on earth. And we do hope that people will appreciate it, back us, and certainly not boycott us or censor us in any way.
If you were in office, would you have done things inside of Gaza differently than Netanyahu has now?
Look, I don't want to criticize the government. Obviously, we're different people. I think this war has been dragged on way too long. I believe Israel should conduct wars that are high intensity but short in time. The attrition approach of dragging it strategy, I don't think it's the right strategy. I would go harder, stronger, faster.
And before we let you go, I have to ask, in Israeli media, it has been reported that you're possibly considering getting back into politics, maybe challenging Prime Minister Netanyahu to return to that office. Is that true?
I've not made a decision. I'll come to this show, Ellison, and let you know. I will say the following, that the only thing I care about, two things, are my family and my nation. That's all I care about in life. And if I need to sweep the floor for my country, I'll do it. And I'll be at any place that I need to be to help my country out of this terrible crisis. Lots of people are in pain now. Lots of Israelis are suffering because of the lack of leadership, and I'll do anything necessary to help them.
Right. Former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, thank you. We appreciate you joining Top Story.
Thank you, Ellison.
Thank you.